Believe it or not, this optical illusion will let you know if you should drive in the rain or not. Take a look at this image. Try to find the sequence of numbers hidden inside it. Okay, go! Did you say 3,452,839? If you did, then your contrast sensitivity is on point. The so-called contrast sensitivity helps you to clearly see the outline of small objects. If this feature is not well developed in your system, then you shouldn't really drive in the rain or even when it's foggy out. Take a look at this image. What animal is not depicted here? A rabbit, a duck, or a snail? The picture definitely doesn't depict a snail. Way to go if you got that right. How many different scenes can you spot in this image? 3? 4? Take a guess. It's only 2. You should be able to see the chalice in the first scene. And then, when you change your focus, you should be able to spot the profile of 2 faces with a white background. Okay, take a look at both images. Can you tell if the circle on the right is larger than the circle on the left? Believe it or not, these 2 circles are actually the exact same size. This illusion is known as the Ebbing house illusion, and it was discovered by a German physiologist in the early 1900s. One of the possible explanations for why our brain glitches when looking at this image is due to the size of the external circles. Since the circles on the right are much bigger, they make the one from the right look smaller than the one on the left. Can you stare at this parrot's eye for 15 seconds? Just keep staring at it. I'll tell you when you can close your eyes. You're about to witness a great example of an after image. 3, 2, 1, and close your eyes. Can you see a red parrot? Isn't it amazing that even though this parrot is black and white, you have the illusion of seeing the color red? Again, this is just your brain trying to guess the color of something. Behind all of these little black dots, there's an image. Are you part of the 1% of people that can see it? It's a minion. Congrats if you spotted that. Here's another one in this style. Can you see what's hidden here? It's a ninja turtle. Honestly, did you need to be a bit of a ninja to see that one? And what about this one? My, it's Homer Simpson. So now there's something hidden behind black stripes. How's your X-ray vision working? You got it if you said it's one of the dragons from How to Train Your Dragon. That's cute. Can you tell which circle in this image is the darkest one? Uh-oh, that was totally a trick question. All the circles are exactly the same color. This is a classic example of the saturation optical illusion. It shows how our brain perceives color in a very subjective way. The lighting and background of an object influence how we see it. So when the gray circle is put against a darker background, we tend to believe it's brighter than its true color, and vice versa. This illusion is called the impossible triangle. But wait, what makes it so impossible? You only have a few seconds to figure that out. The so-called Penrose triangle is also known as the impossible triangle because it could never exist in reality. This magical triangle defies the laws of Euclidean geometry. If you follow the ball sliding on the surface of the triangle from the top point, you'll notice something strange. It looks like the left side of the triangle is extending away from the viewer, while the right side is closer to you. The Penrose triangle is the type of geometrical figure that can only exist as an optical illusion, because this is what it looks like if we dismember it. Not a triangle at all, huh? Take a look at this image. Which line do you think continues the black one? The red line or the blue line? As much as it looks like it's the blue line, it's actually the red line. This illusion was first talked about in the 1960s, and it's called the pendorf illusion. This is a classic example of how our brain perceives geometric shapes and depth. According to scientists, our brain tries to perceive two-dimensional pictures with three-dimensional properties. This is why it distorts the depth between lines in this image. Pretty intense, huh? Take a look at this staircase. Now let's flip the image upside down. It still looks like a staircase, but instead of going from right to left, it looks like it's going from left to right. Don't blink though. If you blink, the illusion will disappear and you will be left with the original image. This illusion is known as Schroeder staircase, and it was invented by a German scientist, Heinrich Schroeder, back in 1858. It's really simple, but it talks about the same principle we saw in the previous illusion. If we dismember the staircase, you'll notice that the image is actually flat. What our brain perceives as a three-dimensional image is just a combination of shadow and light. This means that the 3D itself is already an optical illusion. This happens because our brain captures images and tries to fit them into what it already knows. It sees a shadow in a 2D image and it understands it as depth. Basically, it creates an unreal perspective of the object in front of our eyes. In this case, we call it a three-dimensional perspective. These circles seem to be moving pretty much everywhere they're told. Do you believe they are really moving? Or could we say that they're stationary? I know it's hard to believe, but they're not moving an inch. This illusion has baffled the internet, but this is what's going on behind the scenes. There's a very, very thin inner and outer edge to these circles. And these edges are a different color than the bulk of the circle. To create the illusion, animators make these outer edges move. But since there's a variation in color, our brain interprets it as the entire circle moving. That's why even if we block the arrows, we still have the impression that the circles are moving. Take a look at this image. It looks like the square in the middle is breathing, right? Like it's growing in size and then shrinking. What if I told you that it's just rotating, but not changing in size? Here's what's happening. This illusion is called motion binding. It happens when our brain tries to predict the movement of one of the elements in the image. Crazy stuff! Let's try another one. Stare at the cross in the middle of this image for 10 seconds, starting now. Did all of the colors from the image fade away and all you could see was a white page? Bizarrely, our brain just erases all the nuanced colors and leaves you with a white screen. First up, we have what looks like a gray bar moving up and down on an orange background. But if you stare at this little black dot, you may see the gray bar turn into a different color. What color did you see? Did you say blue? Yep, that was it. There's a graphic city with a dot in the middle of it. Stare at this dot for around 10 seconds, starting now. Wow, what just happened? Even after the picture turns black and white, our brain is still able to perceive the original colors. This is another example of an after image. After we've fed our brain with a fixed image of something, when we turn it black and white, our brain is still trying to guess the colors of it.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.